Okay, so in this video, we're going to be working on Python loops, which is always a fun topic. So let's see what we can do here. Let me just actually close. There we go. Okay, that should work better now. Good. So yes, in this homework, the first assignment is going to be to predict and run. So we're going to be using a very simple for loop rather. For this for loop, it's going to say for I in range 3, print I. And you should be able to intuit what this for loop is going to do. So you can see it says 0, 1, 2, 3, right? Three numbers, 0, 1, 2, 3. And bear in mind that this is exclusive, meaning that it does not include the number 3. So if we did 4, it would go up to 3, but not 4. We can also do things like this, 4 and 8, and it would go from 4 up to 8, like so. So again, it's not inclusive, it's exclusive, which means it does not include the last number. We can also do things like this because it actually accepts 3 arguments. So let's actually do 0, 10, 2, and this is going to go up in increments of 2, like so. We can even do it the other way around. Like, we'll see what happens. So here we go. Actually, nothing happens because we have confused. There we go. Now this should go the other way around. Yes, 10, 7, 4, 1. So this is just a little bit about how loops works. And basically this is saying for I, so for everything inside the range of 10 and 0, and we're going through minus 3 steps, print I. So it'll be 10, then 7, then 4, then 1, as you can see in the console. Now the next step, let's take a look at the next step. What are we going to do? We are going to take a look at range. Okay, so which we've actually already done previously, so I'm not going to go through this. Okay, so we can make a custom counter. So this is going to ask the user for a positive number, n, and then print out 0, 1, 2, up into n, right? So we can create something like this. So it can be something like, let's type in number is equal to input. What number do you want to count? Right, and to say for I in range number. So this is a number we're going to count towards. And we want to count every positive number. That's fine. And it's going to be inclusive. So it's exclusive. Okay, good. So for I in range 1, let's see what happened. Or for I in range number, let's see what happens if we print I. There we go. Should be I, not all. If I can type today. Good. Okay. Perfect. So we'll do 10. Or if we run that again, we'll do 10. Okay. So what's happened here? Sprint. Okay, so this needs to be converted to an integer. Super easy. Now if we type in 10, okay, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Now it did say that it should be inclusive. So what does that mean? Well, we can simply just plus 1, and then that would make it inclusive of the number that we included inside of our number input. So now if we do 10, truly it goes up to 10 now because we've just plus 1 to our number, right? We could have plus 1 at this point, but it just makes more sense to do that at this point, right? Number 3. Okay, very good. So the next step is going to be, let's take a look. Custom counter is done. Part C, looping over strings and lists. Okay, ask for a word, print each letter on its own line. Okay, so this can be a little bit of a difficult subject depending on what you're looking at. So we'll do, okay, what word? Type in here, what word? 1, 2, count. And what we should be doing is counting everything. So we're going to say for I in what word? Right here, for I in what word? Let's print I first and see what happens. So we'll type in Python. Python. Great, perfect. This is really good. Now, what do we do next? Okay, so we also want to keep a counter. Now, there's a way we can keep a counter like this. which is a bit more complicated. We can have a number like this, counter outside of the loop, 0, and then we can increment it each time this for loop runs, but we won't do that, right? There's probably a better way we can do it. Let's try, I think it's going to be here, enumerate I. Let's see if this works the way I expect it to work. Okay. Python. Good. Okay, did not work how I expected it to work, which is fine. Let's do it like this instead, enumerate. Let's see if this works. Hopefully it does. We'll do Python. Okay, there we go. You can see now it counts, right? But of course, you know, it doesn't actually count everything because it starts from 0. So this is actually 6, not 5. So that should be something you keep in consideration. Okay, now what else can we do? We can do things like this. So if we have a number list like so, I'm going to copy and paste this from the homework sheet. And if we have for I or for, what do we do? For num in nums, like so, print num times num. And that will create the squares. We can even do num times num times num, and it will be this will be to the power of 3. Very good. Easy peasy. So next, part D. So ask the user for n, use a loop to compute the total of 1 plus 2 plus plus plus. Okay, and print the result with a helpful message. Okay, sure. Okay, so let's do number is equal to input. What number should we count until? And here, for this one, we actually do need to have a variable inside. So we're going to say for n in num, x is equal to x plus n. You can do plus equals n. There we go. Equals plus n. Is that right? X is equals to x plus n, so x equals plus equals. I think that should be it. Okay, very good. Why is this coming up as x is not defined? Okay, very good. If we have it here, x is equal to 0. There we go. Operating on support for string literal. Okay, so this should definitely be int. And this is just making sure that we make sure that the number is going to be a integer. Good. Now, what else do we need to do? If we say print x, let's see what happens. Let's do 10. Okay, what's happened here? So it's printed out 1 for n in, okay, so it should be that. So in the range number, there we go. And in range int number. And if we do the int there, we can take the int from here. There we go. Let's see what happens. 11. Okay, wonderful. 1, 3, 6, 10, 15, 21, 28, 36, 45, 55. Good. So you can see that this is actually doing what it's supposed to. If we want to make this more accurate, we can put in a +1 here, because remember, Python starts from 0. Let's see what happens. Okay. 11. Good. Now it goes to 66. Amazing. Now we can also count vowels. This is a bit more of a tricky one. How do we count vowels? Let's take a look. Okay, so we're going to work through this together. So we have a vowels list, which is vowels equal to, I'm going to copy and paste this from the worksheet because it makes more sense to do that. Okay, good. And these should all be strings, like so. Okay, I'll get rid of that. Okay, we're going to say input. What word is equal to input? What word should we count the vowels of? Okay. And here we can say for letter in what word, just to be really specific. If letter in vowels, we're going to add something here. Vowel counter is equal to 0. vowel counter plus equals 1. Let's see if that works. Okay, and we should print this off as well, right? Print it right. Let's print it. Print it here. Print vowel counter. Good. Okay, that again. Let's do Python. Should be 1. Okay, so you can see it does actually count literally everything. Okay, so how about we put this here instead? That might be better. Print vowel counter, then that way it's only going to print when it activates, I think. Python. Very good. And now let's do cool. There should be 2. Let's do cheese toasty. Okay, whoa, there's quite a lot of vowels in cheese toasty. Okay, good. So you can see this works. If we wanted to make it better, we could have, done something like make sure this is lower. And that way this works with, even if we did this, because currently, or before, it did not work if we did that. Good. Amazing. Last thing, mini challenge for the for loop and simple logic. Fizz buzz. For each number from 1 to 30, if the number is a multiple of 3, print fizz instead of the number, otherwise print the number. Okay, this is super easy actually. Okay, let's take a look. So we're going to have for I in range 31, remember, because it is, let's do 1. 31. Because this is inclusive. The first number is inclusive, the second number is exclusive. So this should be from 1 to 30. This means from 1 to 30, even though you might think, oh, it's from 2 to 30. No, the first number is inclusive, it's included. The last number is exclusive, it excludes it. So it's from 1 to 30. We're going to say if I modulo 3 is equal to 0, then print is else print I. Okay, wonderful. So every multiple of 3 has been printed off as fizz. Great. Super easy. So that's kind of how you do that challenge. If you want to make this even more interesting, there is a way you can make it more interesting. You can do, if it's fuzz, fuzz. If it's fizz, fizz, it should be multiples of 3. You can do buzz is equal to multiples of 5. And print fizz buzz if it's 3 and 5, which should be things like 15, 30, 45, so on and so forth, right? There's only, a few numbers that make sense for. Remember, it's really important about the order of the conditional statements here, because you should do the one that is the least likely to happen. So, for example, if it is 15, it will actually activate the fizz first if the fizz is first. It won't even see the buzz. It won't even see fizz buzz 3 implied. So you should do this first. It should be if I modulo 3 or I modulo 5 is equal to, or rather, and modulo 5 is equal to 0, then fizz buzz, and then you should do the rest of them. That's how it should work. So the order of how you do the conditional statements is actually very, very important. Okay, that's everything for the homework. Hopefully that was clear, and hopefully you're not distracted by this very, very red screen. It's very late at night and my lights are off because I have a little bit of a headache, but hopefully that makes a lot of sense. So goodbye, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye.